Top five, top five, top five.
Something topical, back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. He is Nate. Today we're doing top 5 Ensemble cast movies for Nightmare Alley that's coming out this December. So he's going to tell you about our social media and how our top 5s work.
If you scroll down to the description box below, pop it open, you'll find links to our social media accounts. So go and give us a follow on those. We also have links to our Coffee account and our Patreon account. So if you would like to get some extra content and also help our channel grow, then we would appreciate that. If you don't know how we do our top 5s, he's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2. Then we trade off number 1s. And we also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or more higher, then we'll save the conversation till then.
My number 5 is going to be probably a Zemeckis, Pulp Fiction.
It is a Zemeckis.
All right, my number 4 is going to be Boogie Nights, which is not on your list because you don't like that movie.
And also weird that it's higher than Pulp Fiction, but it's your list. You go ahead.
Well, when we get to Pulp Fiction, I'll say what I like about Pulp Fiction, and why it was so low. But I love Boogie Nights because I don't work in the porn industry, even though I probably should. But I worked at a restaurant, and working at a restaurant, you meet a bunch of weird motherfuckers.
That's true.
Like the porn industry. So, like, having all those weird characters and shit everywhere, and they're all interacting with each other all the time, it just makes for a very fun movie. And then when you get the level of depth and everything in there from this film and these characters, it seems real. Your heart's with them, and they're all like really weird, like creepy people. Some of them are creepy, but with everything like that, it's just a very fun movie with levels of depth that you probably wouldn't expect, and it's great. It's hilarious. Because, like, me and him used to work at a restaurant together. And what's that one guy's name? I don't know his name. I forgot. That motherfucker is crazy. He used to wash dishes, and whenever anybody talk about getting head, he'll just start screaming random names for head. So it'd be like, dome, cranium, college. Like, what? I've never even heard of college. But
Dictionary,
yeah.
Encyclopedia.
That motherfucker said Albert Einstein one time. I said, I'm going to go to a shorty, let me get that Albert Einstein. They were like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But those characters and these characters are very similar. And I was like, man, these are people that I would know that I could see working at that restaurant him and I worked at, Nate and I mean. So that's why I love that movie. I think it's great. I don't know why you don't like it. Why don't you like that movie?
I've never seen it.
What?
I've heard out of your mouth, I do not like that movie.
I probably won't like that movie.
Watch it. It's great.
I will.
Cap.
So my number 5, kind of a cheat, taking a franchise.
I'll take the franchise too.
Except for the last movie, taking Oceans.
Zemeckis.
Yeah, I figured it would be.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. So my number 4, there are a lot of really good ones out there. I don't know why. When I saw this movie for the first time 2 years ago, like almost exactly 2 years ago, it just like really stuck and hit me. And I thoroughly enjoyed it and am excited to watch it again this holiday season. So for my number 4, I went with Little Women, the 2019 Greta Gerwig version, because there are a lot of really famous people in that movie, and they are all hella good at acting.
And hella white.
Well, yeah, but why does that matter?
Just saying.
Boogie Nights?
Don Cheadle's in that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got one black guy. It doesn't count anymore.
And I forget his name, but the Mexican guy who was in like fucking everything in the 2000s. Bigger guy. With the mustache.
I don't know. Yeah, incredible adaptation. Nice twist on the story with some of the best female talent that exists. And it's really good.
That's true. That's factual.
Yeah.
A lot of good talent. Not my favorite movie though. But you love that movie.
I do love that movie.
They have, you got TCM, but they put Little Women, like the 70s or whatever version.
There's like 6 film adaptations at this
one of
point.
them on there.
Yeah.
I thought about you. I wasn't going to watch it. I was like, Nate, move on. My number 3 is going to be JFK. And this movie is impeccable. It got Kevin Costner in it. Young Kevin Costner when he was like excellent. He was on his shit. You got fucking everybody in this movie. You got Joe Pesci. You got Walter Matthau. You got Jack Lemmon. Fucking incredible. I should have looked at the cast because the cast is so fucking big.
Yeah.
There's so many grade A actors in this movie. Like, everyone in here is a name. and have all these characters interact with each other about the assassination of JFK and the level of depth that, like, this movie is basically when you're on the internet and you get into a rabbit hole about a conspiracy theory or anything, and your investment is like theirs on screen, so you get invested in it, and all these like great fucking actors make it very, very believable to believe that this shit's going on and this shit is happening. Must watch, I think. I wish some of the better actors, like I would have loved to have more Walter Matthau, more Joe Pesci, like the interaction with all these characters. Like you have your main 4 or 5, and then you have some like stars coming in here and there. And I just wish they had more time together. But it makes sense why they don't, because it's a case and you gotta talk to this person.
Yeah.
And then this person that might lead back to this person. But it's fantastic.
Facts.
Joe Pesci, like you've never seen Joe Pesci before. You know I love Joe Pesci.
It's true.
He was my third cousin twice removed.
You do love Joe Pesci.
Incredible stuff. But my number 2 is going to be Wonder. What's your Wes Anderson?
Huh?
I know you got one Wes Anderson on your list, don't you?
Well, yeah, but...
Okay. Mine's The War of Tenenbaums.
Wait, what number is that?
Number 2.
Okay, it's my number 1.
Okay. Oh, I know what my number 1 is. The War of Tenenbaums is fucking great, man. The thing that is weird to me, I really, really don't like Ben Stiller or Owen Wilson. But they're great in this movie.
Yeah, that's true. They are.
But yeah, this movie's fucking incredible. Just the comedy, the depth it brings, mixes with the comedy, the levels that everyone else has with each other, their relationships, the love triangles and whatnot, the directing and everything. It's just fantastic. And you got all these great actors and actors who are meh, but they're with a good director. So it works perfectly.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, part of me, I wasn't going to do it, but there was definitely a part of me that wanted to just be like every Wes Anderson movie. But I had to pick one. So I picked Royal Tenenbaums because even though Grand Budapest, I think, is still my favorite Wes Anderson movie.
Nala interaction.
I think like ensemble-wise, the Royal Tenenbaums is definitely
I'll say
the
Moonrise is better ensemble than Grand Budapest just because the interactions are more.
Yeah, well, I'm also thinking like amount of like literally like the number of big names. And Tenenbaums has all of that, right? I mean, like literally other than like
The little kids.
the kids and like the chauffeur for Gene Hackman, everyone in this movie is a name. And like the 2 guys that are hanging out with Owen Wilson when they come in to start his intervention. But yeah, like they all feed off each other so well, and almost every character gets some sort of interaction with every other character to a certain degree. They're all hilarious. They're all incredibly unique, and they all, like, even in the middle of this like storybook-esque world that Wes Anderson is like so famous for creating, still creates an immense amount of depth, and all the relationships and characters are super believable, and that is because it is full of an ass of talent.
Is this true?
That's a fact. That's my number 2 though.
Cool. So my number 3 is Knives Out.
Close.
Huh?
Close.
To being on your list? Oh. Yeah. I mean, same thing. Like, so many recognizable names in this. And then even, like, Ana de Armas had been in plenty of things before Knives Out, but definitely, like, kind of her breakout. And even she crushed it. And to show up with, like, an acting legend like Christopher Plummer and Jamie Lee Curtis and, like, Toni Collette isn't as broadly known because she does so many small films as well. Like, but for people who do know film, know that she is absolutely incredible in her own right. So, like, to have a relative newcomer come in and just like own her shit and handle it around all these other big names in acting and everything, and absolutely crush it. And plus, like, you know, Chris Evans is coming into this like post Captain America, so he's like massive at this point. And this role is just the complete and total opposite of Captain America in every way. But yeah, like the story that they're telling here with the interactions with like the ensemble itself is absolutely amazing. It's an incredible film. And then my number 2 was Pulp Fiction, which was the Zemeckis from before, which I definitely understand your point because, well, you haven't made your point yet, but
You know the point.
you've used the word interaction like 6 times in this video
The
already.
interaction's a meteor.
Yeah, but okay, you used interactions as a measuring device for your list, and that's fine. I didn't, but...
Because to me, it's just a short film with, like, instead of, like, these are little short films of these characters with overlap. You know, like Mia Wallace. Does she have a conversation with Sam Jackson in this movie?
No.
But they know of each other. You know? And then, I mean, there's, like, great talent. Like, this movie brought talent back. Nobody wanted John Travolta anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And not long after that, they want John Travolta either.
Damn!
Yeah, John Travolta, Sam Jackson, put him on the map. Fucking Vin Rames put him on the map. Fucking Mia Wallace. She,
Uma
again...
Thurman?
Yeah. Uma Thurman.
She has a name.
Yeah, that's not... So good at the role. You know? I almost called Vin Rames fucking... Oh, I forgot his name now.
And,
But the wolf.
Yeah. It was,
Harvey Keitel.
yeah.
Like, there's some great Paul. He's Paul. Fucking... My name's Paul. The shit's between y'all. Marvin.
That's what he said.
Marvin, he's had a voice acting career.
Yeah.
But, like, those main 4, Bruce Willis and everybody fucking is impeccable. But
Yeah.
they don't hang out with each other. Like, Sam Jackson, he only talks to, like, half the cast.
Yeah. I didn't give a shit about that when I made my list.
Clearly.
Like, I just looked at what the cast was. And, that was... But, so the reason that it
But,
was...
like, my thing with an ensemble cast is, if you're going to have all this great talent...
Are you going to tell me how to make my list?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just prefacing again. If you're going to have all this great talent, I want them to bounce off of each other.
Okay, they do. Just not all at once. And, like, I understand your point. I'm not saying it's a bad point. What you're saying is correct. That just wasn't, like, a measuring device in what I used in my list. Because the cast is still the cast. Almost everyone interacts with each other at some point in time. Like, there are clearly more exceptions in Pulp Fiction than there are in the rest of the movies on the list. But it's still like, I mean, Tim Roth, who I would not know who is outside of Tarantino movies, but I still do know who he is because he's in so many Tarantino movies. And when I see him pop up in other shit every once in a while, it's like, I fucking know that guy. And then you pretty much listed just about everyone else. And so, yeah, I think it's just like, I think that's what makes it impressive to me is that, yeah, a lot of these people were either unknown or like had a career and then like this kind of brought them back. But everyone in it ended up being like an actual like Hollywood name to some degree. And because it is kind of like a collection of short films that sort of overlap, you didn't have to do that. Like, you could have literally made this movie with a bunch of people that were never going to act again. And it probably wouldn't have been as good. But that's my point, is that it wouldn't have been as good without this ensemble. And it is very good. So it's my number 2.
It was very good. Great dialogue in that movie.
That's okay. It's interesting that we both had a movie really, really low that was really high on the other one's list because your number 1 is...
The Oceans franchise.
Yeah.
I didn't put 8 in there because there's no overlap.
Yeah, it's still very good.
Yeah, I enjoy 8. 8's good. I like 8. It's got both of my baby mamas. Like, well, Rihanna, she's going to be a baby mama now.
That's true.
Unfortunately, it's not mine. I love you, Rihanna. And then, what's the white girl's name?
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
Bonham Carter.
Yeah, she's fucking amazing. She's the best. But we're not talking about Oceans 8. We're talking about Oceans 11, 12, and 13. So many different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So many different backgrounds. So many shysters.
Mm-hmm.
So many. I love. You got old shysters. You got young shysters. Red shyster, blue shyster, green shyster. You know, you got all types of shysters. I love it. And how they play their part and have their little lines, their gimmicks. Like, everybody is great and likable in that movie, you know? Like, I couldn't imagine that movie without a little small piece, like Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't work.
Yeah.
You take out the Matt Damon and his little gimmick with his parents. The movies don't work.
Yeah.
You take out Julia, like, even the smallest little pieces, the movies do not work. And that's what I love about that movie. Because they're all together, and it's just fun, shysterness. And then you bring in villains at the end, and those are big names like Pacino, and it just like adds to it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Phenomenal movies. They're fun. The first time I watched this movie, it was like, all right, I'm going to go to sleep. I got one movie in me. Then by the time this movie ends, I'm going to be tired. I was like, shit, I had so much fun. There's the second one. I'm going to watch this. I watched them all three in one night. And I was like, well, fuck. I got to go to work or something. I had to do something. I don't know. It's probably something important. Or who knows? Probably wasn't. I wear shirts with no buttons and glasses, so it probably wasn't important, for being quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But, man, you want to have a good time, you pop in those movies.
They're so fun.
Those are great.
Yeah. And it's like,
Bro, if I had $1 for every time you hit your microphone, I would probably only have like $21, but Jesus. Oh my God.
You waste our film.
yeah, they are really fun. And like, the heist is like almost a cliche at this point.
Yeah.
It never feels that way with these movies.
No.
And they are like that formula of like, oh, we get one person who is just a specialist at each of these individual things. And if everybody does what they're supposed to do at exactly the right time, then like it'll work out. And it does. But you just don't care. And part of that is because like the only thing I feel like I can add to what you're saying is that not only did they assemble an incredibly like talented ensemble cast, like the charisma levels are off the fucking charts with the cast in these movies.
Out the wazoo.
Like everyone is just like so like suave and like just plays their specific role in a way that is just like, I believe everything that this dude is saying and doing in a movie about people robbing casinos and shit. And that's talent, and I appreciate them for it.
Man, they could have cast me in that movie. I would have fit in perfectly.
I mean, you really kind of would. Like,
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
But tell me down low in the comment section your top 5 ensemble cast. I know we missed a few, but I feel like we got the main ones, you know.
yeah.
Tenenbaums, Pulp Fiction, Oceans, the core
Yeah.
of everyone's top 5s, you know. But there's more. Nightmare Alley, that might make this list in 5 years. It might be on there. Who knows? But tell us all that good stuff in the comment section. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.